Right, so first of all, I know that the module is called Learning in the Digital Age. But to be honest, what does this term digital age really encompass? Is there actually a true definition? And if so, what is it? These were the questions that I was faced with at the start of the year as a new learner approaching the course. But now, as time has progressed, not only have I learned what this translates to, but I now realise and can actually identify how crucial the subject is and how it can potentially shape myself in the way that I teach, but also the way that my pupils will learn in the future. So, the digital age is an idea that the current age will be categorised by the ability of individuals to transfer information freely and to have instant access to information that would have been difficult or impossible to find previously. Okay, so I almost understand what the term means now, but to be honest, what I want to know is what this really means in terms of being a teacher in the 21st century. Through my research, I discovered that Joe Thurstein has created a project called Education in the Digital Age, and he states that education is moving into the digital age. Pedagogies have changed to engage the latest digital technologies. The methods of distributions are now a blend between face-to-face and some other combination of virtual interfaces. The content is moving from traditional text-based learning to text plus multimedia. This has now made me realise that I am actually part of the digital age, not just as a learner, but also as a training teacher, and in reflection, all of the tasks that we have now completed make much more sense. Reading the article on how the internet is changing the way we think firstly made me think of Marshall McLuhan, who states that we shape our tools and then our tools shape us. Also, technology, according to McLuhan, is an extension of our own natural faculties. Just as a knife is an extension of the hand and the will an extension of the leg, writing is an extension of speech and of memory. This is something that I very much agree with, that these technological tools act as extensions of us. But what I think is most significant is that not every society share the same attitudes towards technology. Not every society is economically developed enough to have computers and digital tools, and as a result, their attitudes and approaches to such digital platforms are perhaps different to ours. However, another interesting factor about this article is when Carr mentions Plato, who argued that the technology of writing would destroy the art of remembering. After reading New Kinds of Smart, it made me realise that we do heavily rely on digital tools that often act as the solutions to our problems, and that gadgets and technology have become such a crucial aspect of our everyday lives. For me personally, my iPhone is my world. I have everything on there. My contacts, emails, my work schedule and social events, and even games. Without it, I'd be lost. In terms of personal plus, I feel it also shows close connections to McLuhan's arguments about technology being extensions of our skin. In fact, this is how I understand personal plus. The internet, my phone, an online journal, the pen that writes my notes are tools or extensions that support my learning. In regards to social media and learning, well, initially I felt that using Facebook as a tool to document and support our learning journey was not going to be an appropriate platform at all. As time progressed, I soon realised that it was in fact a great way to learn and connect people together. However, I learned that learning is heavily dependent on the amount of communication that takes place within any learning environment, and Pritchard states that dialogue becomes the vehicle by which ideas are considered, shared and developed. Once I watched the video and read the article, it made me think that even though social media sites like Facebook can be great tools for learning, such platforms should not be introduced into schools to support learning. Young people feel as if their identity is being judged based on their profiles, and are also fixated by this idea that what they upload will determine their role and place in society. Furthermore, when we first used Facebook for our virtual learning environment, I was not in agreement with it. I felt that it was my own private digital space. I later realised that this concept of privacy was also mentioned in the video. It refers to how younger people have different perceptions of privacy compared to adults. However, the underlying principle here is that I do feel that these sites can foster personal, intellectual and personal development, but it is based on educators' perceptions on the space and the type of space that they generate to support the learning. During this time, I began to reconsider the role I have as a teacher within the digital age. With new social media sites becoming increasingly more popular for young people to express themselves, it made me think about whether, as teachers, we need to step in if bullying is occurring online. I feel that when bringing such tools into a classroom environment, it is crucial to ensure that they are being used safely and effectively. I now realise that it is vital to allow students to see these platforms as a tool for learning and not just as a form of entertainment. However, you need to create an environment where students know it is used for learning and learning only. Whilst I was playing games, I found it difficult at times to recognise that every game that I was playing was in fact helping me learn. I identified later on that every game, regardless of its content, is a digital tool that supports learning. We are learning all the time, everything we do, even if it isn't at the forefront of our minds, and this is something that I discovered later on. So if I'm playing Angry Birds, I'm applying my knowledge of maths, angles, forces and estimation, and during this time I am then gaining rapid response and feedback from my actions, which contributes to deepening my knowledge and understanding within the content. There are also so many transferable skills that you use whilst playing games. As games become more popular, my question is, what role might games have in education? Should we as teachers deliver the curriculum in a broader spectrum? Time will tell, but a principle that I have learned is that games offer a kinesthetic approach to learning. During my digital journey, I have realised that as a learner, I heavily rely on digital tools and platforms to fabricate and execute my work. As a teacher, I will ensure that my future students will have the ability to not only use these tools effectively and safely, but also be able to use more traditional tools to support and aid their learning. The questions that I am now faced with: do I need to be in tune with the latest technology to be a better teacher? Must I have an account for every social site or learning space there is to facilitate my pupils' learning and progress? Only time has the answers to my questions for now.